ShockwaveSound.com. ShockwaveSound.com.
Alright, we're back and we're talking. This is a hot and heavy conversation about what Microsoft is planning on doing with this new Xbox One. I mean, man, this is something where, you know, if you really want to make a statement, you got to let your voice be heard in this situation right here, because Microsoft and the fans, I was going to tell you what the fans are doing. The fans have said, thousands of them, you know, and I'm in it as well. The fans have said that because Microsoft, and this doesn't come as a shock to anybody, but they're saying that because Microsoft is planning on going down this road, that they have shifted to PlayStation. They are saying that their loyalties are now more towards the PlayStation 4 than it is towards the Xbox One. And Microsoft thought that they were releasing this information, and they thought that they're saying all these things, but they have many strikes against them. One, they want you to, if you buy a used game, and they're saying that the minute you buy a game for their system, it's going to automatically download. You can't stop it. Matter of fact, if you don't download the game onto your Xbox One, you're not going to be able to play the game. That's how they're going to make it happen. So once you download it, it's now on Xbox Live, because the Microsoft One, the Xbox One has to be on, so it's going to be on Xbox Live that you have this game. And the minute they see the game appear anywhere else, so if you give it to a friend and they download that game that has a unique ID that was registered to your system, they're going to know that this person is playing it, and they're going to wipe it from you, because they're going to say, well, you probably sold it, so they wipe it from your system. And guess what they said? They also said, if the person wants to play a game that's the same disc, they can, but for a fee. They said for a nominal fee, they will allow someone to play the same game that you have bought. So what do you think about that now? For a nominal fee, I can get to play a game that I may not even want, you know, a friend let. I mean, Microsoft is just, I think they're just messing up the whole used game situation. If they come out with the things as the way it is, the way they're saying, they are just destroying the whole system. And then for them to bust out and say that, hey, we want to sell 100 million units of our latest, of the Xbox 360, so they're looking to sell 25 million more, and they're projecting 400 million sales of the Xbox One by the end of its life cycle. And I'm saying they're not even going to get 1,000 sales if they keep down the road that they're going right now. And they're saying that, hey, we not only do we want to control what your how many people are in your household, and not control how many people are in your household, but control how much you pay for movies by watching. We're going to control the types of games in terms of if you lend a game to a friend without our knowing, we're gonna assume that the game has been sold. We're wiping it from your hard drive. You are not going to be able to play it anymore, and you just lent it to a friend. So I'm playing a game right now. right? And I'm halfway through it. And someone says, hey man, is this game good? Yeah, can I borrow it for the weekend? And I know I'm not going to play the game this weekend, so I say, yeah, sure, go ahead and play the game. I lend it to them for the weekend. Right away, I'm halfway through the game now. All my saves, halfway through, all the work that it took me to get to that point. Because if you're playing games like Fable, you're playing games like Elder Scrolls, you're playing games like Resistance 3, Halo, stuff like that, and then the new Destiny. Imagine you playing a game like that and you're about halfway through. You've invested about, let's say, 15 to 20 hours in this game. You lend it to a friend, and they say that, oh, this friend has this game that's registered on your system. Hey, it must be used. Boom. They erase it right from your system, one. Or two, the friend can play it, but they got to pay a nominal fee to play the game. That's just crazy, man. Microsoft is just going, hopefully they're just saying these things because they're just trying to, stir people up and because sometimes that's how product companies will do it. They stir up controversy because what that does is just bring more buzz to their situation. So hopefully that's the marketing tactic they're going, because if they're going with all these cameras and talking about we're counting the amount of people in your room with the camera to decide how many people when it's movie night, how are you going to charge you? Nah, that's just out of it right there. So hopefully Microsoft will know better than that, and hopefully all of this stuff we're doing, hopefully maybe what it is, it's just that this is a marketing ploy by Microsoft. They're looking to get a lot of buzz, because PlayStation right now, Sony right now is actually looking pretty. They're looking and saying, we don't need to say anymore. We don't need to say anymore because Microsoft poked fun at Sony and saying that their press conference was what they called an almost announcement, because they never showed what the system was going to look like. Microsoft came out and said, please, you came up with all this, you didn't even show the system, and that's why they made a big deal about showing their Xbox One and stuff like that. But we're going to see what Microsoft has planned, because this is going to be a huge announcement. They're going to have to flesh this thing out at E3 when E3 comes around. So we're going to have to wait and see. But just to keep this point in mind, to achieve that lofty goal, Microsoft will have to ensure that the sales of an average of 1.25 million units per quarter for half a decade. That's how they're going to have to. They're going to have to sell 1.5 million units per quarter, for about 5 years in order to reach their goal. And I don't know if this is going to be, if this is going to happen, but Microsoft said that they are planning a huge, this is what they said in quotes, a huge announcement related to the Xbox 360 in E3 to revigorate the aging console. And people, according to reports, they recently confirmed that the dashboard refresh is coming to the console in the next few months. And although we haven't heard any details about this, Microsoft is saying that to expect a visual refresh. It's likely that Microsoft will update the interface to look more like the Xbox One's UI when they show that at E3. Just as they did for older smartphones when transitioning from Windows 7 to Windows 8. That's what they did for those kinds of phones. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But in addition to discussing plans for the 360, they also said that they have grand ambitions for the next generation Xbox One. And they believe that an increased focus on entertainment and TV could help sell hundreds of millions of Xbox Ones. That's what they're saying. Especially when they add things like the achievement system for watching TV. Again, this is where Xbox One comes into play, because it's going to be watching you to see what you're doing, your reaction to programs, how often you sign in to watch certain programs. You get achievements, and like we said yesterday, what are these achievements going to do? If I'm just racking up points to rack up points, no thanks, but we're going to have to wait and see what Microsoft does, because this is very, very interesting on the Microsoft end. So we're going to have to see what happens, and hey, hopefully this is just all a media hype so that Microsoft can, gain some market share into the next generation of consoles. Now, our next story, we're talking about Best Buy. Best Buy is always, they're an electronics retail giant, so sooner or later, they're bound to be in the news when it comes to, these things. So So what we're talking about here when we're talking about Best Buy is that Best Buy, according to a report by All Things D, Best Buy plans to start offering $50 off. So if you're looking to get that new Apple iPhone, right? They started it on Sunday of this week, Sunday. They're offering $50 off Apple's iPhone starting Sunday. Now the price cut applies to the purchase of iPhone 4, 4S, and iPhone 5 in conjunction with a 2-year contract with either Verizon or AT&T or what's the other carrier that use them? Sprint. Yeah, Verizon, AT&T, or Sprint. If you get a 2-year contract, they're going to take $50 off the phone. The company is also doing some shorter-term promotions over, they were doing short-term promotion over the Memorial Day weekend, this last weekend. They were cutting the price on several popular but older Android models. From May 26th to June 1st, Best Buy is selling Samsung Galaxy S3 for $49 on an AT&T or Sprint plan, a $50 cut. Meanwhile, it is offering the HTC Droid DNA, and get it while you can, because remember, the HTC Droid DNA is one of those phones that Nokia targeted in that lawsuit. So they're going to offer the HTC Droid DNA for the Verizon version for $50. And that's $150 off. The traditional, I think it's $199 for the HTC Droid DNA. And the HTC One X on AT&T for free. You're going to get the HTC One X on AT&T for free. And that's $100 price drop. So, and that's from now, May 26th, really until June 1st. So you have a little while, because it's just the 29th. And how many days does May have in it? I think it's 31. Devin? No, May has how many days in it? 31, 30?
31.
Yeah, 31. So you got a couple of days left on this on this Best Buy plan. So for those of you that didn't know this was happening, right now you can get all the various phones. Samsung Galaxy S3 you can get for $49 on AT&T and Sprint. You can get the HTC Droid DNA for $49 as well at Best Buy on the various carriers, and the HTC One X on AT&T for free. Now the move comes as Samsung Galaxy S4 is now available for a variety of carriers, and Apple's iPhone is getting a bit long in the tooth. The iPhone 5 getting a bit long because remember, they're coming out with the iPhone 5S. So the discounts on the iPhone are infrequent but not unheard of, particularly in the weeks or months leading up to the new model. So we know that because Apple never drops their price, I mean ever. They always, whatever price they are is what they are. So the fact that Best Buy is taking that risk and giving you $50 off, when I say risk, not really a risk, but they're giving you $50 off the iPhone 4, 4S, and 5 from now until June 1st. That's something that you might want to do. So if you're someone in the market looking for a new phone, you're looking for a good deal, I would head on over to Best Buy, and especially if you want to get that HTC Droid DNA before that thing is pulled from the shelves forever, or the HTC One X before that thing is gone. If you are someone who likes to have these, these type of phones before they just disappear forever, head on over to Best Buy. You can get these things at a great deal, but they come with that 2-year contract with Verizon, AT&T, or Sprint. So that's something that you're gonna have to decide if you want to do. Now coming up, we're up against another break. Coming up after the break, the Apple One. Remember we talked about that? Another Apple One has sold. And we're gonna tell you how much this thing sold for, and also Google planning to launch, or they want to launch, wireless internet service. Broadband internet service. Wireless. So you won't need to have any connections coming to your house. Can you believe that? All of this and more coming.